Good evening, guys. How's everybody today? I hope you're all doing well. It's a bit late. I've been out today. I went to, I got an offer. Somebody said, some friend said, hey, Starbucks has got a special on, buy one, get one. So they said, I'll buy you a coffee. I said, I'm on. So I went to town, met up with some people. Actually, I paid. I paid for, what do they call it, that chocolate stuff. But I just got chow manao lemon tea. It was like 2 in the afternoon by the time I got there. I thought, I'm not drinking coffee, Starbucks coffee at 2. You can't drink Starbucks coffee at 9. I'll be like, that stuff's hallucinogenic for me, way too strong. Anyway, we were talking about some different things, and I was saying about this morning I was watching some TED Talks. You know how you get those suggestions coming up in YouTube. So I thought, okay, you know, I had dyslexia real bad when I was a kid, and I couldn't learn to read. Numbers I wasn't so bad with. Geometry I was very good with. But you know, numbers moved around and letters were hard to focus on and things like that, you know. I put words in where they weren't words, and I take words out and move letters around, all kinds of silly stuff. So anyway, I watched it. One guy was saying, one guy with a PhD, professor from somewhere, was saying, if a child, like if you're trying to do if the child's trying to do its best in school and everybody's giving the kid stress, that causes anxiety for the kid. So the young guy, child, I shouldn't say kid, but the child, if given anxiety, makes the dyslexia worse. So if the home life is bad and everybody's giving the young boy or girl stress about not doing well in school, then the dyslexia will get worse. So, at first I was going to turn it off because I thought, what's he talking about? But then you think about it, I thought, you know something? He's got a point. The next guy was doing a TED Talk, and he had dyslexia real bad at school, which was a kind of a blessing for everybody else that he had it, because what he did is he realized, you know, in bygone years, like even when I was a kid in England, there were apprenticeships. You know, if you wanted to be you know, work with horses, you would do an apprenticeship. You want to do electricity, you work, you know, house electricity or industrial electricity, you would work with somebody as an apprentice. You know, they would take you on. The first year you would get like minimum wage because all you're doing is carrying tools. The second year you might be trusted with a little bit more work, and then after 4 or 5 years, I mean, they even had terms. What was it? Right, or I forget the terms. As you progress through an apprenticeship, and it wasn't so. Back then, when you did apprenticeships, it wasn't all book-based, text-based. It was more looking at it, figuring out the problems, and you know, solve the problem. So with a dyslexic person, I can say for me, you know, I have many examples, but this is one example. I'm a little bit late, so I'm getting eaten by bugs already. One example was when I did my house in America. You know, I did the electrics, I did the plaster, I did insulation, plumbing, roofing, doors, windows, built a bay window. I did everything, built the front and back deck, did it all myself. I did have some help. I did pay somebody to do when the main roof needed redoing. I paid somebody. I'm gonna walk, so I'm wiggling just so I don't get eaten. So yeah, but the rest of it I just figured out and did it myself. And I had a couple people say to me, how do you know how to do all this stuff? How long did it take you to learn this in school? So I never went to school to do it, but I just watched. You know, I did my house in England, but I just watch and learn, and that's what I did. And you know, so apprenticeships were the same principle. You weren't always stuck with your head in a book. So he was saying that dyslexic people make good, what is it he said? Artists, engineers, and another one. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, I was telling my group of friends in Starbucks about the TED Talk, and they said, you know, I said to them about, you know, we talked about relationships and all kinds of other things, and one person there knows me well and said, you would be, based on what I know about you, you would be good at becoming an engineer, interior designer, architect. What else? There's one more, I think. Some kind of artist or something. I can't remember now. So while I walk in the house, I wanted to share something with you. Look at this, what I seen. I didn't buy any, but I did look at it. One thing for sure is I do not have a studio in the house. I don't have studio lighting or anything like that, so that's why I'm always outside. So you just have to put up with this lighting, standing in front of the bathroom door. So we were talking, and you know, I told you what they said. Actually, one person said you'd be good as an engineer, interior designer, or architect. That's right. That's right. That's right. And I said, interior designer. I guess, you know, I wouldn't say so much for the fabric side, but for the rest of it, sure. You know, building cupboards or making alcoves, things like that, definitely. Anyway, that was the conversation, and I thought about it afterwards, and I was like, you know, the learning, for me, the learning process is I'll study something for a long time. But when you get a chance to explain it to somebody, it kind of goes in, and it's like it goes in a little bit deeper, and you get a better understanding. So I would say, giving a young person more stress by saying you should try harder or do more or Kevin's lazy, all this sort of stuff, it makes the dyslexia even worse. So, and I'll tell you something, I'll be totally honest with you. My reading ability was extremely poor, so I don't know if there's like different levels of dyslexia. I don't know anything about that, but I can tell you that I had a couple jobs before I joined the Green Clothes, and I took the test, and I actually got a pretty good test. Now I don't know how that happened. I have no idea. So I got a high enough score. I didn't have to go in the infantry. I wound up in the artillery, and the main reason I got up in the artillery was because the area I lived in, that regiment was from that area, and I knew. I think I knew somebody who. Yeah, in the end, I knew somebody who from the area or something. I can't remember now. But anyway, I wound up there, and to be honest, I didn't really enjoy it. But after about 4 or 5 years, I got into you know, the D&M, driving and maintenance. So I became a driver. I had my HGV truck driver's license within 3 months, and I got that by accident because I was supposed to be washing dishes. And one of the guys on the course broke his glasses, so he washed dishes, and I started driving. So there was a lot of play about that. But I got the license, and then got HGV2, then HGV1, and motorcycle, tracks, everything. But long story short, I went to many different courses, wound up in the school teaching teachers how to teach. And that's where I finished. Teaching teachers how to teach about vehicle maintenance and advanced driving and stuff like that. And then I wanted to get into IT, so I studied about IT, read books, and so on. But to actually learn all this stuff, I had to practice reading. And I guess I was in my mid-20s before I'll say this, I was in my mid-20s before I could read to a point that I felt that I could actually read. Sure, that's serious. And now, you know, after that, how old was I? I guess I was about 30 something. I got a bug about reading books on successful businessmen. And one of the things they say a dyslexic person is very good at is being an entrepreneur, running your own business, etc., etc. But for some reason I was fascinated by people who could do that. So I read the stories about Richard Branson, Donald Trump, believe it or not. One of his early books about successful businessmen. I think one of the earliest books I ever read was a book with 10 successful businessmen who never went to university. In the book, there was 2 people who went to university and 8 people who did not. And, you know, about their success. So, I have a question for you. Please write this in the comments. What, if I was still working, or I was a young guy and you were going to advise me, what job do you think I would be best at? Because I think, you know, I don't have people to hang out with every day. You are my hangout gang, so you have to tell me. Leave it in a comment. What? And don't be rude. Okay? So, what do you think, what job I would be best at? Okay? So, right, I'm going to sign off and eat my dinner. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. You know, today I was like, I wanted to film some of it, but nobody really wanted to be on film. So, but I was thinking, hey, I have a gang. And just imagine all you guys sitting around talking and sharing stories and stuff like that. It'd be a big gang, but it'd be fun. And so I just wanted to hear your views on what job would best suit me. Okay? I'll sign off and say good night. Look after yourselves, guys. Buckets of blessings, rivers of peace, joy, and kindness. See you in the morning. Look after yourself. Bye.